I never thought my best friend could betray me, but today she smiled at me while secretly introducing Liam to her sister, Sophie, knowing I liked him. My stomach sank as I watched them laugh together, completely oblivious to my presence. I froze, unable to speak, as a wave of shock and anger hit me. How could Ella do this after everything we shared? I felt my chest tighten, a mix of hurt and disbelief, while Liam seemed completely unaware of the storm raging inside me. The world around me blurred as I realized my secret crush was slipping away right in front of me, all because of the one person I trusted most. I tried to pretend I didn't care, but my heart kept pounding. Ella's laugh sounded louder than ever, and every time Liam looked at Sophie, I felt invisible. I wanted to run away, but my feet wouldn't move. I kept telling myself it was just a friendly meeting, that maybe I was imagining things, but deep down, I knew Ella had planned this. My mind raced with questions. Why her sister? Did she know I liked Liam? Did Liam even realize how I felt? Every small laugh and glance between them felt like a sharp knife, cutting through my chest. I needed to leave, but curiosity and disbelief rooted me in place. I decided to follow them outside, trying to act casual, but every step felt heavy. Liam and Sophie were laughing as if the world belonged to them, while Ella glanced back at me with a smirk. My chest felt tight, and I realized I couldn't let this go without knowing why. Did Ella really plan this? I kept my distance, but wanted to hear every word they said. My hands trembled slightly, and I felt tears threatening to spill. For the first time, I understood how betrayal could feel like fire in your veins, burning, sharp, and impossible to ignore. I couldn't stop thinking about what I'd just seen. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw Liam smiling at Sophie, and it made my stomach twist. I tried calling Ella to confront her, but she didn't answer. Panic set in. Did she think I wouldn't notice? Did Liam even care? I paced my room, feeling trapped between anger and sadness. I wanted to tell Liam how I felt, but I didn't know if it was too late. My mind kept replaying their laughter over and over, like a cruel song I couldn't stop hearing. The next day at school, I could barely look Liam in the eye. Ella waved at me as if nothing had happened, and my stomach turned. I sat in class, trying to focus on the lesson, but every laugh and whisper around me felt louder than ever. I kept imagining Liam and Sophie together, and I couldn't stop the jealousy from bubbling up. I wondered if I should confront Ella now or wait, but every moment I hesitated, it felt like I was losing Liam even more. My heart ached, and the day dragged on like it had no end. During lunch, I saw Liam sitting with Sophie under a big oak tree outside. Ella waved at me from a distance, and I felt a sharp pang of betrayal. I wanted to storm over and demand an explanation, but my legs wouldn't move. I sat alone on a bench, watching them laugh, their voices echoing in my ears. Every smile they shared felt like a dagger in my heart. I wished I could disappear, or that Liam would notice me the way I noticed him. The pain of watching my crush with someone else was worse than I could have imagined. After school, I saw them walking to the cafe again. My feet carried me there without my thinking. I wanted to confront Liam, tell him my feelings, but fear kept me silent. Ella kept glancing at me with that smug look, like she enjoyed watching me struggle. My heart thumped loudly, and my hands trembled. I didn't know if I wanted to scream, cry, or just run away. Seeing them together made me feel small and invisible. I realized betrayal could make the people you trusted the most feel like strangers. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept imagining Liam's smile and Sophie's laugh. My room felt suffocating. I wrote his name over and over in my notebook, hoping it would make him notice me somehow. My phone buzzed. It was a message from Ella. "Don't be jealous. You know, it's just for fun." My hands froze on the bed. How could she say that so casually? I felt rage and sorrow mixed together in my chest. I realized this wasn't just a crush anymore. It was about trust, friendship, and betrayal. The next morning, I decided to confront Liam. I found him by the school gates, chatting with Sophie. My throat felt dry, and I couldn't think of what to say. Liam smiled at me, completely unaware of the storm inside. I opened my mouth, but the words got stuck. Sophie laughed at something he said, and I felt invisible all over again. Ella waved from a distance, her grin cutting through me like a knife. I realized that telling Liam how I felt wasn't as simple as I imagined. The betrayal made everything harder, sharper, more real. I spent the day pretending to be okay, but every laugh, every glance Liam shared with Sophie burned inside me. I tried talking to my other friends, but their voices faded. I couldn't focus on anything except the betrayal and the growing jealousy in my chest. By evening, I found myself walking past Ella's house, hoping to see if she felt even a little guilty. But she waved at me with that same casual smile, and my heart sank. I realized this wasn't just about Liam, it was about trust, and mine was gone. I couldn't stop thinking about how Ella had betrayed me. Every time I saw her, I felt a mix of anger and hurt I couldn't explain. I kept replaying the moment she introduced Liam to Sophie in my head. My friends noticed I was quiet, but I couldn't bring myself to tell anyone the truth. I wondered if Liam even realized how close I had been to him. Every small smile he gave Sophie felt like it was meant to break me a little more. That night, I cried alone, wishing things could go back to the way they were before. The next day, I saw Liam and Sophie sitting on the school bench again. My heart raced, but I decided to approach them. As I walked closer, Ella appeared behind me, smirking. I tried to stay calm, but my hands shook. Liam greeted me warmly, completely oblivious, while Sophie smiled politely. I realized I had to say something, but every word felt stuck in my throat. Ella's presence made it worse, like she was enjoying my struggle. I walked away, frustrated and heartbroken, knowing I couldn't tell Liam my feelings yet. During lunch, I sat alone again, watching Liam and Sophie from afar. They shared fries and laughed like old friends. I couldn't focus on eating, and every bite felt like sand in my stomach. I wanted to shout, to tell Liam how I felt, but I stayed silent. My mind raced with thoughts of revenge, of confrontation, of making Ella regret what she did. I hated feeling powerless, but there was nothing I could do in that moment except watch. Every laugh between them tightened the knot of jealousy inside me. After school, I tried talking to Ella privately. "Why did you do it?" I asked, my voice shaking. She laughed lightly and said, "It's just harmless fun, don't overthink it." I felt my chest tighten. How could she be so calm after betraying me? I wanted to scream, to make her understand how much she hurt me, but I couldn't. All I could do was walk away, my hands clenching into fists. I realized then that this wasn't just about Liam. It was about losing the one person I trusted most. That evening, I sat in my room, staring at my phone, hoping for a message from Liam. None came. I thought about sending one myself, but I didn't know what to say. Every time I imagined him with Sophie, it hurt more. I remembered our past conversations, the small moments that made my heart flutter, and realized they were gone now. Ella's betrayal had changed everything. I felt trapped between hope and heartbreak, not knowing if I could ever trust anyone again, or if I could ever get Liam's attention before it was too late. The next day, I saw Liam laughing with Sophie in the hallway again. I wanted to scream, but I forced myself to walk past, pretending nothing was wrong. Ella winked at me from across the corridor, and my stomach twisted. Every glance Liam gave Sophie felt like it was meant to hurt me. I realized that if I didn't act soon, I might lose him completely. My mind raced with plans and ideas, but fear kept me silent. It was the hardest day I had faced in a long time. That afternoon, I decided to write Liam a note. My hand shook as I scribbled my feelings, hoping he would understand. I planned to slip it into his locker, but when I opened it, Ella was standing there. "Going somewhere?" she asked with a grin. I froze, my heart racing. I had to think fast. I hid the note and walked away, but the tension in my chest didn't go away. Ella had made sure every move I made felt controlled, and it was crushing me slowly. That evening, I tried to distract myself with music, but every song reminded me of Liam. My thoughts kept drifting back to Ella's betrayal. I wondered if Liam even noticed how distant I had become. I tried calling him, but he didn't pick up. I felt tears prickle at the edges of my eyes. I realized I was losing him, not because of anything he did, but because of the people around us and my own hesitation. My heart ached with every second I waited. The next day, I saw Liam and Sophie sitting under the oak tree again. I couldn't ignore it any longer. I approached them, my heart pounding, but before I could speak, Ella appeared and blocked my path. "Relax," she said, her voice dripping with mockery. I clenched my fists, my mind screaming, but I forced myself to stay calm. I realized Ella wasn't just my friend anymore. She was my obstacle. Every small step I took toward Liam felt like moving through quicksand. That night, I decided to write in my journal, pouring out every emotion. Anger, sadness, jealousy, and heartbreak filled the pages. I realized that if I didn't express myself, the pain would consume me. Writing made me feel slightly lighter, but it also reminded me of how trapped I felt. I needed a plan to tell Liam how I truly felt, but fear of rejection and Ella's interference made it impossible to act. My chest tightened as I closed the journal, knowing tomorrow would be another day of struggle. The next morning, I saw Liam leaving school with Sophie again. My heart sank, but I decided I couldn't stay silent anymore. I followed them at a distance, trying to figure out how to finally speak to him. Ella noticed me and waved mockingly. My chest tightened, but I forced myself to ignore her. I realized that if I didn't act soon, Liam might drift further away, and I might never get my chance. Every step felt heavier than the last, but I knew I had to try. During lunch, I sat near Liam and Sophie, trying to find the courage to speak. My hands shook, and my voice felt stuck in my throat. Every laugh they shared made my stomach twist. Ella sat across the courtyard, watching me like a hawk. I realized that confronting Liam wasn't just about my feelings. It was also about facing Ella's control over the situation. My heart raced, and I knew I couldn't wait any longer. I needed to act before it was too late. After school, I saw Liam walking alone. My heart leapt, and I ran to catch up. "Liam, can we talk?" I asked, my voice trembling. He looked surprised but smiled. Just as I was about to confess a little of my feelings, Sophie appeared. I froze, unsure what to do. Ella's laugh echoed in my mind, and I realized the moment I had waited for was slipping through my fingers. I wanted to shout, cry, or run, but all I could do was stand there and hope Liam noticed me. That night, I replayed the afternoon in my head. I realized I had to be brave, even if it meant risking embarrassment. I decided to write Liam one final note, pouring out my feelings clearly this time. My hand shook as I folded it and slipped it into his bag when no one was looking. I felt a mix of relief and fear. Tomorrow, he would read it, and everything could change. I barely slept, imagining every possible outcome, hope and dread battling inside me all night. The next day, I saw Liam sitting on the bench reading my note. My heart pounded so loudly, I thought he might hear it. He looked up, and for a moment, our eyes met. I felt a spark of hope. Just then, Ella appeared, smirking as if trying to ruin the moment. Liam glanced at her, then back at me, his expression unreadable. My stomach twisted with anticipation. I realized this was the moment everything could change, for better or worse, and I had no control over what he would feel. Liam folded the note slowly and looked up at me. His eyes softened, and for a moment, I thought he understood everything I had felt. My chest tightened with nervous hope. Just as I opened my mouth to speak, Ella appeared again, laughing at something silly, trying to distract him. I felt anger rise, but I forced myself to stay calm. I realized I had to make him see me. Not Ella, not Sophie, just me. This was my chance, and I couldn't let it slip away. Finally, Liam called my name softly. My heart jumped. "I didn't know," he said, his voice quiet and sincere. Relief and happiness washed over me, but fear lingered. I wanted to tell him everything, but words felt heavy. I realized that Ella's interference had made me stronger. I could face my feelings now, no matter what. For the first time in days, I felt a small spark of courage and hope. We walked together after school, talking quietly. Liam seemed genuinely interested in what I had to say. My chest felt lighter with every step. Ella stayed behind, watching but unable to interfere this time. I realized I didn't need her approval anymore. The betrayal had hurt, but it had also taught me that I could stand up for myself. Walking beside Liam, I felt hope and excitement for the first time in a long while. That evening, I wrote in my journal, describing every moment of courage and hope. The sadness was still there, but it felt lighter. I realized that betrayal had changed me, but not broken me. Liam's smile and kind words reminded me that honesty and courage mattered more than jealousy or fear. I felt proud of myself for standing up and expressing my feelings. Tomorrow was uncertain, but I knew I could face it no matter what came. The next day, Liam held my hand gently, and I realized that despite everything, some things could still be right. Ella looked on but couldn't ruin the moment. I smiled, feeling a sense of peace I hadn't felt in weeks. Betrayal had tested me, but I had faced it, and I had gained courage, honesty, and a small victory of the heart. Walking with Liam, I felt hope for the future, ready to face whatever challenges came next. Because now I knew I could survive anything.